Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Hescox here. Going to finish up this second section of Chapter 1. We're going to finish up our organelles. We're going to review real quick, and then you guys will have some assignments later. So, real quick, things that we've already talked about. We've talked about the cell membrane, around the outside here. We've talked about the cytoplasm. We've talked about the nucleus. We also hit mitochondria so far. Today we're going to pick up where we left off and kind of finish those things up. Here are the organelles that we need to talk about. Ribosomes are a small round protein factory of the cell. These are the machines that are going to build your proteins. They put amino acids together. The ribosomes are these little tiny round structures, and they're found on the endoplasmic reticulum. Often we abbreviate endoplasmic reticulum as the ER. This is a transport tubes. These transport tubes work a lot like conveyor belts in a factory. They allow us to move stuff through the cytoplasm very, very efficiently. When the ribosomes build proteins, they are funneled into the endoplasmic reticulum to be shipped from one side of the cell to the other. Speaking of shipping, the Golgi apparatus is generally at the other end of the ER. The Golgi apparatus is pretty easy to find. It looks like a bunch of pancakes kind of stacked together. And the proteins that are shipped from the ribosomes through the ER end up at the Golgi apparatus, where they're packaged in these little tiny bubbles called vesicles. Those vesicles are then packaged to be shipped out of the cell. Sometimes you can store things in these other tiny little sacs called vacuoles. Vacuoles in animals are really, really small, but in plants they're really, really big. In fact, they're called the central vacuole. Vacuoles can store food, water, or waste. All right, so we're going to go ahead and label a few more things. If you zoom in, you'll notice that there is a little dot right here, and that dot is a ribosome. That ribosome is actually on this series of tubes right through here. We call that the ER. And this one specifically is our rough ER. And then down here where there are no ribosomes is the smooth ER. This bubble here is actually a vacuole in here. It's either a vacuole or a lysosome. It's kind of hard to tell in this picture. Lysosomes are very similar. They have enzymes in it. And then finally, these structures right here, change the color real quick. In here, this is our Golgi body or Golgi apparatus. And then this is actually one of the vesicles that's coming off. Now on our plant cell, we're going to go ahead and zoom in again here. Oops. So there's our nucleus. And if you look, here's our little bump right here. That's our ribosome. Ribosomes are a protein factory. They need to be close to the nucleus because they get information from the nucleus in the form of RNA. Here, we have all these bumps, and this is our rough ER. And then finally, here is our smooth ER. So if you followed this here is our Golgi apparatus. And then there's no pictures there, but these are the vesicles there. Now the vacuole that is so big in a plant cell is right here, and this is our central vacuole. Plant cells have two more structures that we need to add onto there. You have a cell wall, which is a tough outer covering made of cellulose, a very long carbohydrate. Cellulose is glucose made in photosynthesis strung together. Literally millions and millions of these glucose molecules strung together. And finally, they have chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are our where we make sugars, and the chloroplasts have chlorophyll. It fills up the chloroplast, and that chlorophyll allows them to make sugars, and it actually runs photosynthesis. All right, so let's finish this out here. We have our cell wall, which is actually being peeled away here. And you have this structure over here, which would actually be green, and that is our chloroplast. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that gets us through all of our parts of the cell and the organelles for what you're going to need for our test in this. I hope you guys have time to go back and watch this video again. Watch the little videos, make sure you stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.